When it comes to the question of downsizing, a growing number of baby boomers are opting to renovate their homes rather than relocating. Rising home prices and interest rates are the big reasons for that. And everybody's saying, hey, I'm just going to age in place. So 9 News real estate expert Lane Lyon joining us this morning. Lane is a realtor and managing broker at Coldwell Banker. And first of all, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Let's just talk really quickly. What is aging in place in a sense? What does that even mean?
It's this idea that I'm just going to keep the family home instead of looking at downsizing potentially. We know that roughly 1/3 of all homeowners in the U.S. are baby boomers. About half of those have paid off their homes. So it really is kind of a tough pill to swallow if you think about it, Mark, either having no mortgage or a very low mortgage payment and trading that in for the interest rates of today in the 7% range. My parents fall into this category. Sure. They built a big 2-story home 20 years ago. My father is very attached to his rate in the 2% range. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, why would you sell that and say, I'll get a smaller house and actually have to pay more, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense for many.
So what's the interest rate right now? It's somewhere in the 7s, right?
Yeah, we're in kind of that 7% range, you know, really with rate buy downs and working with sellers, you can bring that down a little bit lower. But it's really coming back to this idea that I think I might renovate versus buy a new house. And we're seeing that happen more and more. And some of the things that these baby boomers are doing are looking at upgrading some of the comforts of home. They're, for example, doing updates to the kitchens and baths. They're doing those zero entry showers, Mark, the walk-in bathtubs. Sometimes they're actually making these repairs before they actually need them by putting in stair lifts, making their homes more accessible because they are planning on the long haul. They know that they're going to be staying in the house they're in. Now, as realtors, we always say you should be updating your home every 10 to 15 years anyway, just to maintain the home's value.
However, even with more people holding on to these homes, we are actually seeing an increase in housing supply right now.
It's a great point, and it's an interesting one. In fact, the Denver Metro Association of Realtors recently came out and said at the end of last month, we had more inventory, more homes for sale, 30% more, in fact, than the month before, 75% compared to this time last year. What do we make of it? Home buyers are just taking their time, and the interest rates are really driving that. They've got more to choose from. They're being picky. They can be. There's more to look at. And the reality is sellers are having to be patient. I was talking to some realtors, Mark, who were saying, you know, what we're seeing here in Denver is that sometimes home buyers get in, their lenders run the numbers, and we have cold feet. We're backing out.
Sure.
So sellers have to sell their house more than once. Also, the inspection repairs are very long right now. Why? A lot of home buyers feel like they're paying so much for their mortgage, they don't want a lot of repairs after the fact. So sellers are really having to make those repairs rather than go back on the market. And I'll leave you with this, Mark. The good news in all of this is that sometimes when that supply goes up, there's a concern that values will start to come down. And right now here in the Denver area, our average sales price is up 3% compared to last year. So we'll take that. Prices are stable here in Denver. So really some advantages for both buyers and sellers if you're out there.
And then that younger generation keeps saying, hey, can you move out of your house so that we can get in here? Can we get it?
The parents are like, no way, we're not going anywhere.
Lane, thanks so much. I always appreciate you coming in.
Sure.